Thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folarin. As you know, the National Assembly is in the middle of, a constitutional amendment exercise, and it's ongoing, but we do have a number of, shall we say, votes haven't been called in, if you divide it into yes and no. So some things, we'll talk about those, they have voted yes to, and other things they have voted no to. This morning, my guest is in studio here, Mr. Kabiru Akingbolu, lawyer and public affairs analyst. Thank you very much for being with us.
It's a pleasure for having me on the program.
Indeed, it is our pleasure. And we'll also be meeting up with our constitutional lawyer, Dr. Tunji Abayomi, via Zoom. Oh, is Dr. Abayomi? No, well, that's the honorable. That's the Honorable Sergius. So since his picture is there, let me say good morning to the Honorable Sergius Ogun, member of the House of Representatives, representing what? Esan Northeast. Help me out there, Honorable. Correct?
Thank you. Esan Northeast and Esan Southeast.
Esan Northeast and Esan Northwest. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Okay then, and as I was saying earlier, Dr. Tunji Abayomi will be joining us via Zoom. Okay, staying with you, Honorable, it's an ongoing exercise. You're still in the middle of this constitutional review. You've resolved some matters, said yes to a number of important matters, and also said no to some other matters as well, right? So it's an ongoing process.
Yes.
Okay. What we'll do is we'll take a package and then we'll come back and we'll take your comments and your responses. Here's a package we put together that went out on our main news bulletin last night.
Thank you, Tijesu. A bad day it was for women as all 4 bills that concerned the female gender were shut down at the 2 chambers. Not even the presence of the wife of Vice President Dolapo Osinbajo and the Minister of Women Affairs, Pauline Tallen, could change the minds of majority of the legislators. The First Lady had witnessed the laying of the report of the Constitution Review Committee as part of advocacy for women-related bills. First to suffer a setback is the bill seeking additional seats for women at state and national assemblies. In the House, 81 members voted in its support, while 208 kicked against the bill. It was the same pattern at the Senate. Another clause seeking to expand the scope of citizenship and extend it to a non-Nigerian married to a Nigerian woman also failed.
Colleagues, the next provision is a bill for an act to alter the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to provide for special seats for women in the National and State Houses of Assembly.
195 lawmakers voted against it, while 107 legislators voted in its support. States may have had the last laugh as a bill to include value-added tax on the exclusive list was overwhelmingly rejected.
Whatever amendment you vote for will be recorded that you voted this way or that.
Despite desperate efforts by the Speaker and other gender-friendly legislators, the bill, which seeks a minimum of 20% for women in ministerial or commissioner nominees, got a support of 226 votes as against the required 240 benchmark. Though Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila opted for a voice vote and ruled in favor of the passage of the bill, it was rejected at the Senate.
To propose that the percentage proposed in the provision, in the clause, which was to guarantee that women have a minimum of 35% at all levels of party administration, should be changed to 15%.
With the love we have for our women, that they should not go empty-handed. Honorable colleagues, let's give them the 15% at least for a start.
Diaspora voting also failed to fly as majority of the lawmakers voted against it. Also rejected was the bill seeking fresh procedure for the veto of presidential assent. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
Okay, our thanks to Joke Adisa. That was the view from the House of Representatives. Now let's see how it went in the Senate.
The National Assembly's attempt to produce a document that will reflect the wishes and aspirations of we the people will remain a major talking point for a long time. A total of 47 bills got the Senate's approval. Among the approved amended bills is the power to summon Mr. President or governors in accordance with Section 67 and Section 108. The bill, if assented to, will give the National Assembly and State Houses of Assembly powers to summon the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria or governors of their state to answer questions on issues of national security or any matters whatsoever deemed fit by the legislative bodies.
Result, yes 77, no 13, abstain 1, total 91. The bill is passed.
But another amendment relating to the enforcement of legislative summons in sections 89 and 129 now seeks to make failure, refusal, or neglect of legislative summons as an offense punishable in accordance with an act of the National Assembly and strikes out payment of costs and fines. Another significant amendment passed by the Senate is the bill which amends Section 7, 65, 106, 131, 177, and 228 of the 1999 Constitution, which would allow an independent candidate contest for an elective position without belonging to any political party. The amendment of Sections 222 and 223, if granted presidential assent, would impose restrictions on the formation of political parties to ensure national orientation, viability, and sustainability. Although the bill to allow for judicial reforms was approved by the House of Reps, senators claimed to have mistakenly rejected the bill. An attempt to right their wrongs was considered too late by the Senate. Now the lawmakers are hoping to make amends during the harmonization process with both chambers.
This exercise is a continuous exercise. If we are not able to get it today, having concluded this exercise so far, we should make effort to get it tomorrow.
The two chambers of the National Assembly seem to agree on almost everything, as most of the clauses adopted in the Senate were adopted in the House of Reps, and vice versa for the rejected clauses. My colleague Joke Adisa will tell us more on why and how lawmakers rejected some of the clauses.
Okay, TJ Adeoye, actually we switched it up like that. So Joke Adisa has already told us how it went in the National Assembly, how we sort of arranged the report. So thank you very much, ladies. So there we have the sort of overview, and we have Honorable Sergius Ogun, member of the House of Representatives. Indeed, is the member representing Northeast, Eastern, Northeast, and Southeast. So good morning again to you, Honorable. Okay, so now that we have the background, I was just looking at it. There are a number of usual suspects in there, by which what I mean by that is that it's not new. For instance, this whole idea of the separation of the office of the Attorney General of the Federation and of the state from the office of Minister or Commissioner for Justice, as the case may be. That is not the first time it is coming up. Now they have voted yes for it, but as we all know, what's going on here is that all of this matter is going to have to do a tour of the nation. Yeah. It's going to have to go through all the state houses of assembly. So let me see if Honorable Ogun is actually ready to respond. Honorable? Okay, I understand that we're trying to connect again. So I called it a usual suspect in that we've heard of this before, yeah, but it didn't fly. So now it has been approved in the general in the National Assembly. But that doesn't mean that, well, that's the way it's going to be from now on.
Well, I can tell you, in 2019, it happened just exactly like this. It was passed at the National Assembly. It went to the state, 23 states voted against it. So, and they need 24 to vote for. So it is just impossible.
So just like there are a number of issues on most of these matters that come up, apparently the whole idea, I don't know where we went and got the Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General being this one and the same. Because a lot of commentators,
you see, when you look at
that you need to separate it.
They don't need to. It's just unfortunate that we don't appreciate certain, because there is going to be an incessant clashes between them if you separate that. Because when you separate the office again, you will have to begin to look at what are the criteria to appoint an Attorney General. Is it going to rise through the ranks as a state council up to the top of the ladder? Or is it going to be appointed like as an outsider who will join the government? What would be the criteria for the Commissioner for Justice and the Attorney General, and the Minister for Justice? This is going to be another duplication of duty in a country where we are running away from high cost of governance. Nigeria runs the most expensive democracy in the whole world. You understand? So, and now you want
almost.
There's nowhere.
Let's just say that we don't even know that for a fact. It's just that
we say almost everywhere in the world, I think we run almost the most expensive. Now if you look at it from that angle, are we going to continue to split the offices again? So in the last time around when it came up, the state houses of assembly did not vote for it, and it's understandable. Then again, the local government autonomy stuff also scaled through.
Exactly. We'll come to that.
Okay.
That's Honorable Ogun. You're back with us. So what we were talking about there when you came back to us was what I had referred to as a usual suspect in these provisions of the Constitution that we look at. We've looked before at the whole matter of separation of the Minister of Justice from the Attorney General, and in the states, the Attorney General, the Commissioner for Justice and the Attorney General. It's shown up before, but even though it was agreed to in the National Assembly, by the time it went around the states, it was edged out. Did you bear in mind history when you were coming up with these decisions that have faltered in the past? I wouldn't say failed, because the Senate President has just finished telling us that it's a continuous process. The audio. Well, I don't know what was happening there. As you could see, we had sound, but when Honorable Ogun started to speak, it looks like, Honorable Ogun, could we implore that you kindly check if you indeed did plug in your microphone or audio or whatever? Could you just help check that out? In the meantime, we'll continue from studio here, and we'll come back to you as soon as we can. So we saw his mouth. So, well, as I said, that's just one of them. Now, the whole, you wanted to touch on local government, so I guess we can go ahead now, because they're talking about financial autonomy for local government.
There's also financial autonomy bill, aspect that this thing has amended, and it's scaled through in the National Assembly the last time around. This time around again, it has scaled through, but it has to, by the Constitution, it has to go down to the states, and not less than 2/3 of the 36 states of the Federation must, as a matter of fact, vote in favor. If they vote against, if it's less than 1, it fails automatically. So this is the problem. And considering the fact that the state houses of assembly, most of them are always with their governors. And the governors will know how they deal with the local government. It's a kind of a milk factory for them. The local
Exactly.
So
that
they
is
will
what
not
is-
want, it's the golden egg that lays it's the egg that lays the golden egg. They
Okay.
won't want it to die.
Let me go back to Honorable, maybe third time lucky. Honorable Sergius Oguns, I was asking you earlier, bearing in mind our experience with matters, for instance, such as this whole matter of the sort of Siamese attitude to Commissioner for Justice and Attorney General, as well as Minister for Justice and Attorney General. Here we are again. You voted for it again, even though we haven't had a happy experience with that. Are you not taking into account some of the things that have happened in the past, or are you indeed taking account of them and actually know what you're doing?
There was consultation with I appreciate the leadership of the National Assembly this time around. The speakers of the Houses of Assembly came to Abuja, and where we agreed on most of these things. They were voted on and they accepted most of this with us. And then they took copies back to the state. So whatever we did yesterday, we're going to transmit officially, and they already are aware, what we are thinking about. So, well, if they don't accept it in the states, but I think the idea behind it is there are two offices in one. One is political, one is administrative. So when the politician comes into office, we always appoint one. But the other one should stay strictly to serve the bureaucracy. So there's a whole lot of sense in that. But again, it depends on how the state specifics. If they say it's okay, and they bring it back, and that's fine. But if they don't, well, that's fine. But what's important is that people have seen the need to separate the offices for the good of our people.
Okay. The other aspect that we've heard about is an ongoing exercise, as we know. The other aspect we've heard about is local government. Now, Professor Isse Sage, he's commented, it's out there this morning, he's commented that he doesn't really see why we should be bringing in the local governments into the Constitution, that this should be left to the states, but clearly the logic is that's not in tandem with how the legislators see it, is it?
Well, the Constitution as it stands today sends money to the local government, but through the state accounts. So if I'm going to send money to you through your station, TVC, which means constitutionally you're supposed to get the money, if your station or your company decides not to give you the money or gets you to sign for the money and doesn't give to you, you have been robbed of that money. So until we amend the Constitution, and just there's devolution of power, states run your stuff and then pay tax to the center, then it will not depend on the state to create their local government. That will be fine. But as it stands today, as long as money is sent to a joint account between the state and the local government, and the state will not allow the local government to have access to the money, we have to separate it. Let the local government have their money directly. That's what we have just done. But if we have made a constitution tomorrow to say, okay, fine, state, run your thing, and then create whatever number of local governments, and then run it the way you want to run it, all well and good. But for now, we just want the money to get to the local government. So in that way, we hold them responsible directly, for what they have done or what they have not done or what they will not do.
Okay. All right then. Honorable, thanks for the moment. We've also been joined by Dr. Tunji Abayomi, constitutional lawyer, indeed politician. Good morning to you, Dr. Abayomi. Okay, I suppose there are still a number of issues, but just in case there's a delay and Dr. Abayomi can hear us, we're in studio here, Yori Folani, if you can't see us, alongside my guest, Kabir Akingbolu, and indeed an honorable member of the House of Assembly is also online with us via Zoom. We're looking at things that have been, voted upon. None of this is maybe locked down really, because it's a continuum. even when they finish everything here, it still has to make the rounds of the state houses of assembly. But we were just hearing from Honorable Ogun there that we might have a better experience this time, because he said the principal officers, the speakers and so on, they all came and were part of the process. So probably they would have got an inkling if there was going to be a sort of a negation of what was being talked about. Do you think that was helpful this time around?
It may and it may not. It depends. Because you see, the speakers, they are 36. Like I know in Lagos now, they have about 40 or 41 members, 40 members at the Lagos State House of Assembly. That I know for a fact. Now, the speaker is only one person. Now, he has gone to Abuja, accepted with the National Assembly that we are going to do this amendment. It will come back to the House. They will have to subject it to vote. So if they subject it to vote, how are we sure that he will be able to prevail on at least 2/3 of the members at the National, about 27 in Lagos, 28 in fact, in Lagos, if it's going to be. Before the 28 of them out of 40 will agree, it's a lot of assignment. And in all other states, places like Ekiti State, they have 26. I think Edo have 24. On those states, so like that across the country. So it may not be very easy to skate through that, because I know that they will agree with some. But there are all of them can. I don't think all of them may go. Okay. I don't want to stand so skeptical, but it might not fly as they have expected. Because one thing is agreeing in Abuja, another thing is coming to your people here and say, this is the report from Abuja, and they say no, flatly. Well, it is possible. And again, given the fact, the kind of is it control, will I say it, or the understanding that the governors have with the House of Assembly over certain things, some things may not just go the way we think.
Oh, well, okay, if you say so, because I was thinking, take for instance, totally different subject if you want, the ruling party looking for a chairman. And you could see that all the concerned parties, they're waiting on Mr. President. Mr. President has told us who his choice is and has insisted that this is the man who is going to be the party. Now, the president is like the leader of the party.
Yes,
and, I was, as I said, it's a bit irrelevant to what we're talking about here, but I was trying to liken
by parity of reasoning.
Yes, that if the man has come there, he probably has the say-so to go and speak for us.
Yeah, party affairs, is a bit different in the sense that almost all the executives want something from the president.
Yeah.
Whether from their state, whether as a person, whether as a family, one way or the other.
Okay.
But, a primus inter pares is what we have in the House of Assembly. Best among equals, we are all voted for.
Okay.
You were only privileged to be the speaker. We are the same. So the speaker may not be able to force it down their throat, except, and of course, he has his way politically, and the speaker will not be the one to call the shot at the House of Assembly. The way we run it in Nigeria, or the way we understand it, the governors have a way.
It's totally different from the president scenario that I just painted.
The position maintained by the president is the position maintained by the governors over the state assembly. That is just the truth of the matter. In theory, it may not be so, but practically speaking, that is not the
pragmatic purposes.
Yes, pragmatic purposes.
You got to take your lead from the president.
Yes. You will have to look at sometimes the governor may not come out and say, oh, this is what I want. But you will watch the body language of your governor, because all of you too need second time, or you need something from the governor too. You must play the ball.
It's like a rabbit hole that we went down here. So let me leave that for the moment and see if I have Dr. Abayomi yet. Okay, I can't have Dr. Abayomi yet, but we're expectant. It will happen. Honorable Ogun, you just heard there a commentary on the excellent idea, I thought, of inviting the principals of the 36 houses of assembly to come down. Excellent idea. But that difficulty the fact that the principals representing the various houses outside of their chambers might not be able to have the kind of sway we required. Is that a bridge to cross when we get to it, or have you given thought to that as well?
Can you say that again? Are you a break?
Okay. The fact that you just told us legislators from the speakers from around the country were actually part of this whole process, but because of this thing in the National Assembly where everybody is equal. There's the primus inter pares doctrine. He might, how can we be sure that he really has, if you want, the opinion, what he is saying will become the opinion of his house?
Yeah, we understand that clearly. That's why the speakers came in the first case. So they are not seeing the document for the first time. It's for them to take those documents to the states and meet with their colleagues and let them know this was our discussion with the National Assembly members, and this is what they are likely going to vote on, and that will come to us. So it gives them the opportunity to look at it and also prepare for what is going to come. Yeah, granted that the governors might influence them, but the very powerful speakers amongst them can also reach the governor, and they may be the Attorney General before the bill will formally come. Yeah, we are not saying that they will endorse everything, but part of that bill, or part of what we approved yesterday, you see, is autonomy for the House of Assemblies. If they have that autonomy, they will have powers to do things without the governor, seeking the governor's approval. Just like what's happening in the National Assembly here. We don't go to the president seeking approval. Yeah, granted there's a relationship, but we don't go begging the president for anything. Because we are supposed to oversight what they are doing. You know, Section 87 and Section 88 of the Constitution. So that's what we're trying to that's where we're trying to bring the House of Assemblies to be. And hopefully we will get there. So, yeah, granted that they might not all agree on what we have said to them, but it gives them the opportunity to see it first and then prepare their minds.
I see. As I was saying, we have Dr. Tunji Abayomi on the line now, I hope. Dr. Tunji Abayomi, constitutional lawyer. Good morning, Dr. Abayomi. Great to see you again. I hope technology will allow all of this. If you're still hearing me, we just wanted to look at, what we have so far coming out of the National Assembly in the yes or no vote as regards amending the Constitution. Dr. Abayomi, good morning to you.
Morning.
Okay. Good morning, Dr. Abayomi. Yeah, how do you feel they're doing so far? There are a number of eye-catching things. We talked about one or two of them. The whole matter of separating attorney generals, both in the state and the federal level, from commissioner or minister of justice. Are you having a difficulty hearing me, Dr. Abayomi? Can you hear me loud and clear?
There's some difficulty.
With some difficulty. But you know, we can hear you. But we can hear you good, as they would say in America. That wasn't English. We can hear you good. No? Okay. Dr. Abayomi, as soon as we see that we've removed the gremlins, we'll come straight back to you. Dr. Abayomi? Okay. We're still trying to sort it out. In studio here, what do you think of, for instance, it would appear, the legislators would want to be members of the Council of State, because I see here that, they would, membership of the National Security Council, I beg your pardon, not Council of State, membership of the National Security Council to include presiding officers of the National Assembly. In other words, the Speaker and the Senate.
I think that would be totally illegal and not traverse, because and it runs contrary to the spirit of democracy and rule of law, where we have a separation of power, as propounded by Montesquieu. Now we have the legislators to make law, we have the executives to execute law, we have the judiciary to interpret the law. It's not like the judiciary is saying, I want to be a member of a Council of State, a judge. It's not done anywhere. Or can any member of the executive say, okay, I want to come and be sitting in the... It doesn't make sense. The issue of security and all that is an executive function. Yes, you cannot mix them.
So
you understand?
So you think,
yes,
you think the National Assembly is exceeding its lane?
Yes.
Is exceeding its lane.
Exactly. If they do it like this, I'm sure people will have to challenge it in court, maybe.
Good morning, Ada.
So, good morning to your guests. Very interesting topic. Is
okay.
Ada calling from Jos Plateau State.
Yes.
Well, I'm happy with what is going on with the constitutional amendment to some extent. That the Senate passing to allow a independent candidacy, that's a good one. Separating the office of the Attorney General and Minister of Justice and that of the state as well, you know. I've been always against it. You have brought up that topic before now, and I also, said it's a duplication of functions and it will further increase the cost of governance. Exactly. If you ask me, Orusanja's report should be dusted and implemented to reduce the cost of governance in the first instance. Then the one on women, I might sound one kind. Some women who hear might be mad at me. I've always been against this reservation of 111 additional seats for women. Additional seats, that's what I'm against. If they were asking for, if we were asking for, seats within the existing numbers, then that's understandable. But this idea of additional seats, who will foot the bill? Are we going to review the emolument of members of National Assembly downwards? We are borrowing money to be able to even pay some bills. So it doesn't make sense to me. So I think let them go back to the drawing board and think about it. I've been always against it based on that. Okay. So I'm happy we did not see the light of the day.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you very much, Ada, for calling in. Trying again with Dr. Bayomi. Good morning. Dr. Bayomi, any better luck? Okay. Oh dear. The producers are saying into my earpiece, it's not a matter of any better luck. It's a matter of no luck at all. Oh dear. So that's what we have there. Now, Ada brought up the matter of independence candidature. Yeah, it's in there.
I can tell you straight away.
I was going to say, sir, that part of that is that if you want to be an independent candidate, you've got to get 20% signatures from all the registered voters. 20% of them.
The last time I was on this program, I think via Zoom, I spoke about it. That was about 3-4 weeks ago. That it's like giving somebody a right by the right hand and taking it by the left hand. It is just not practicable. Let's say for it, go mathematical a bit. The registered voter as at the last exercise in Nigeria is about 84 million. Well, thereabout. It's over 80 million. You understand, the registered voters in Nigeria. Now, of these registered voters, only 40 million votes were garnered by the president. To make him president today.
14 million
now, 20% of that 80 million registered voter will be about 16 million. So how do you get it? So you even need more than the vote that brought the president in to make him a nominee. If you are going by
an independent candidate. Good morning, Mr. George. Thank you for holding on a bit.
Morning, Uncle Yori. Okay. Uncle Yori, firstly, I want to, I don't know the word to use, accuse you of something. We've been asking for more time on this program. You can see how much time it's taking you to connect Zoom contributors. And, we have only 20-15 minutes to do us. Please reconsider.
We are still appealing to management, and they assure us that it's constantly,
and they will
constantly on their desk.
Okay.
Okay, maybe until I mobilize my colleagues to come and
Thank you, Mr. George.
Talking seriously, Uncle Yori, permit me to speak on two aspects of this amendment.
Sure.
The one concerning the women and the one about independent candidacy. Well, the idea of additional seats is really not it. But I think there should be provision for them in the existing seats. If that's what they were asking for, it makes more sense. Okay, you have to think back. Women are the ones these people, these elected lawmakers used to get elected. They will stand in the sun from morning till night. They will sew uniforms and support them to campaign from place to place. Majority of the voters are women. But now they are asking for something, and even the wives of the president and the vice president visiting the assembly could not make any impact. Tomorrow now they will call them out to come and stay in the sun for them to vote for these same people. I don't know how Americans do it.
Yeah.
But there are about among the governors in the U.S. there are about 20 governors that are female. How they got it is what I do not know. Perhaps the women should start with party leaders. Let the parties be the ones, they can start with executive positions. They should give them a percentage, which the government is not even fulfilling with that one they agreed before. You should give them, a chance. Perhaps they might do better.
Okay.
Then the independent candidacy aspect of it, if it says true, it will be one way of addressing rancorous primaries. There are some popular people in communities that can win elections on their own, especially at the local government level. But the parties, they don't have the money to influence the parties for them to be given tickets. It's the time to now test their popularity if that is approved.
But 20%, remember 20% of that, whatever the number is, of registered voter in that locality, would be required, the signatures will be required for you to be a viable or a legitimate independent candidate. People are immediately...
I don't know why they decided to do that. Why is it necessary? It's not called for. That's another election of its own. It should just be, if you feel that you can win, register with INEC and contest. Why do you have to first secure the consent of 20% of the voters in that place?
Indeed.
So 20% of voters come out for elections. It's another way of saying do not come out as an independent candidate.
Okay.
That clause should be expunged.
All right then. Thank you very much, Mr.
What I was
George.
trying to add...
Sorry about that, but thank you very much. You did so, and another commentator has also commented that it's like giving somebody something with a right hand and taking it back with your left hand.
Exactly.
If you say, yeah, independent candidates are allowed, and then you say, but go try and bring this as well. 20 million, 20% of the signatures.
Yes.
But well, there you are. This is the way these things go. So the big thing that we need to keep on remembering is that all these proposals, because that's what it is, when the National Assembly is done, they're just proposals. They now have to go to every one of the 36 states and get a two-third majority.
To vote, including FCT.
Including FCT, before we can say, yep, we're now in business. I don't know. So it's not a quick fix, although it can be done. If there's a consensus, look, it can be done in 2 weeks.
Yes, you see,
to not over-exaggerate.
Democracy is a market of ideas. You understand? It's just the majority having their ways and the minority having their say. It's not going to be, sometimes it's not as easy as we think, because they will subject it to all sorts of rancorous debates at the floors of the House and all that, So that's why it may not scale to the way they think. And on the women participation in this thing, I think there should just be making additional seats is another way of saying you don't want them to be. And again, there are so many practices or conventional practice even in political affairs. You will be wondering that most of the political meetings are held at night. So how do you want women to participate more if these are done? So you are not even giving them the sense of belonging that is supposed to be from the beginning. Okay. You understand? Okay. So all these things, they should look at it and make sure that things are done properly.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Yakub. Thank you for holding on.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Jerry.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning to your guest.
Yeah.
The one I want to talk about is autonomy to local government, and then the women, the 35% affirmation given to women.
Okay.
You see, actually, that autonomy to local government is, for me, is welcome idea, is welcome development. I'm not a lawyer, but I disagree with Professor Sagi that says that the local government belongs to states. You see, if I knew in my local government area here that the money comes directly to the local government first, and then at the end of the day, we find out that the chairman in our local government don't do anything. We have right to protest to that local government. In fact, we even sue the local government and charge him to court. Or report that kind of a chairman to EFCC and all that. If you find out that our money is going the other way, but the situation where that it is now, If you find a local government chairman that our road is bad, and then their health center that you build, there's no doctor there, there's no any job to give to the people there, he may likely tell you that the money that the government giving to him is just to pay salary. So what do you go to tell the kind of that chairman? So as it is now, you want to give somebody money, you are not give it to you give it to another person before, and then that person is not transferring the money to the owner. I think it is not right, but now it is right. The money should come directly to the local government so that we can be able to act. How do you utilize our resources? That is number one. Number two, concerning the women, I think this is the time for the women, because the population that is voting for men in this country today, it is women. So the women should rise up, and then the House of Bread Speaker says that it's going to mention, it's going to publicly let us know the who people put down. That's very particular. And then I can tell you,
Mr. Yakub, I've got to interject. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for your valued opinion. Let me maybe we'll end with this because of the time factor. The whole matter about including value-added tax on the exclusive legislative list, that one got a thumbs down. Yeah. Say no.
Yes.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, if you look at it, it's not logical for me to buy wine in Lagos, to buy juice in Lagos, to buy biscuit in Lagos, and I pay value-added tax, and you send it to Abuja and cut it into pieces and share to Enugu State, share to Port Harcourt, share to Adamawa, share to Yola, Kano, and all that.
Okay, you slipped in Kano.
You understand?
You slipped in Kano towards the end.
Yes, you understand. Because you see, let me tell you, or the tax you collect in Kano, you bring it back to Lagos, to Abuja, to share it for all other parts of the country. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but also Lagosians have noted that they happen to be paying the lion's share, contributing the lion's share
I think
of that.
So. There is incontestable. Some are even putting it, I can't verify, are putting it between 60 and 70% of the total VAT. So it's a lot of money to places like Lagos, like Rivers, like Deltas, and some of those states that make so much money. Like in Kano, for instance, they don't alcohol in some of the Islamic states, they don't drink it, and you take tax on alcohol and take it there and share for them.
Okay, so, Chief Ade in the UK, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Yori. My greeting to others in the studio.
Thank you.
It's very sad we can't hear from
Dr. Abayomi.
Dr. Tobi Abayomi. Yes, I think it's better to bring him to the studio physically.
Indeed.
He's a man of wealth of experience.
Yeah, you're very right.
I wish in the next year election, they should make him Attorney General of the Federation. Having said that, I'm in support of the motion moved by the majority leader, that is George Dakoni. This program from 1st of April should be 1.5 hours. That is our decision.
We shall let management know about these demands. We ourselves are working on it.
We are telling the management now. The PBC is open for us. We are the owner, we are the shareholders.
There you go.
The leader, which is George.
There you go.
George has moved the motion, I support it.
Thank you.
1.5 hours from April 1st.
All right.
So, in this motion, the National Assembly, what I supported was the independence candidate. So, that's the only one I love there. So anytime we come, I can vie for Senate or whatever without joining.
As long as you get 20% of the signatures of the registered voters in your locality.
That is why I have Dr. George, Yori in Nigeria. So he can do that. He's well known in Nigeria. He can do that for me.
Okay.
So with his connection, I will get it.
Oh, okay then. Thank you very much, Mr. Day, for calling in. Well, we've run out of time, but there's so many things, and it is continuing. There was even some matter about the power to summon a governor or the president.
Yeah, there has always been that power, but now they are trying to criminalize it, which may cause a kind of friction. Because I know in the past they have done it to El-Rufai, I think at the Minister of
El-Rufai refused.
He refused and went to court, and the court declared it to be invalid, to be illegal. Summoning them that you don't have the power, you are not policemen, you can't investigate criminality.
When the whole word summon self, that word summon has its own connotations.
Do you understand? El-Rufai went to court and won. I think about 3 or 4 other cases were decided along that line that you cannot do it. just say, oh, if you look at the National Assembly, with the greatest respect to them, they want to have hands in every pie, in everything.
Single pie.
Now you want to be a member of the National Security Council.
They say it's on our behalf. You don't have oversight for us.
Oversight function, you go to Petroleum Ministry and call the minister and this. At the end of the day, all the investigation will stop, will not hear anything again. That is the thing. So it's funny. I think there is division of power. We should know that separation of power is clear. We shouldn't mix them together. Even all this issue of them, adding something to the budget. The Constitution is very clear that the budget shall be made and laid before the National Assembly by the executive, by either the governor or the president, as the case may be. But now you say education, you have put 7 naira, it's going to be 8 naira, or it's going to be 4 naira. Indeed. But for the one for the National Assembly is 10 naira, you make it 15. It doesn't make sense.
Mr. Akingbolu, I suspect that we're going to need another program on this whole issue, because there's so much meat on the bone, and everybody has an opinion. Thank you very much for coming on. Kabir Akingbolu, lawyer and public. I beg your pardon, Akingbolu, lawyer and public affairs analyst. And we also thank Honorable Sergius Ogun, who joined us via Zoom, member of the House of Representatives. And indeed, we thank Dr. Tunji Abayomi for he made all the efforts to be able to join us. We saw his picture. However, technology dropped us. That's actually another subject. We should be looking at 5G. 5G, we shall be looking at 5G, as soon as we are able to do so, because all of these things, they say it can make it a lot smoother. So that's our program today. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.